Hi, this is Doug Manch, and you're listening to Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 340, and you're with your High Priest of Khonshu again, Ray. G'day, hello. I'm doing it solo, doing a bit of catch up with some issues for a really cool little series, Moon Knight, City of the Dead. Just not that long ago, it seems like not that long ago. I did a solo review of issue 3, which was Dead Reckoning. And this episode, which is being live streamed across social media, Facebook and YouTube most notably, I'll be having a look at another Moonshine. And this time it's Moon Knight, City of the Dead issue 4, which I think is the penultimate issue of this series. It feels like it. It's called The Unquiet Grave by David Pepose. It's a cracker. It's really fun. I'm not sure if you had time to listen to my review on issue 3, which I found, quite enjoyable as well. A little bit bumpy with the art, but we have here Marcelo Ferreira returning, so very much like the first couple of issues. As mentioned, and similar to this last episode, it's just me. This could be like a quick fire episode since Rebecca's not here with me, but fear not. Later, in less than a week, again, I think Wednesday evening for US listeners and viewers, Rebecca and I will be hosting David Pepose on the show to chat all about City of the Dead and his experience writing Moon Knight, as well as his works up to date and how he's finding working at Marvel. It's quite an amazing gig. He's been around. I know I'll be talking to him about his original series, Spencer and Locke, which I absolutely adored. I rated it as one of the best, I guess, non-Big Two comics that I've read. So be very excited to have him on the show. That is this Wednesday evening. Rebecca and I will be chatting with him. So I have been I have been MIA most recently, and as mentioned in the last episode, just I wanted to catch up with these issues because they're good. They deserve attention, and unfortunately can't have the other high priests here, but wanted to really go through it with you and just give my thoughts on it. I am also experimenting with a bit of new technology, so bear with me there. For those that are viewing the video, you can probably see what I mean to the right on the screen there. I'm dangling a camera, so I thought just be something different, and I'm trying to work this thing out of using a camera to do an overhead shot of the comic that I have as well. So I thought it'd be fun to go through the comic that way, a bit of old school kind of thing, rather than looking at the digital version of the comics. So yeah, I can't wait to get into it. Now, this being a short episode, I will leave all the kind of bigger white noise news till a bit later. I want this just to be kind of like a standalone for this issue 4, an Unquiet Grave. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Oh, I think that might be Rebecca. No worries, Rebecca. Rebecca's tuned in. For those that are listening to the podcast, just got a live comment. Sorry, I can't be there. No worries. It's fine. I can't wait to have you on. But I'm kind of excited at using this kind of technology. Hopefully, I don't faff it up. I've already had to kind of blinker the down lights around here because there was a bit too much glare on the comic. But it's all a work in progress. I've got the camcorder, whatever you call it, just dangling. So there might be a bit of, it is connected to the table, so there might be a bit of wobble, but I'll try to mitigate that by not touching the table. So Looney's, oh yes, it is. It is Rebecca. Hey, how you going? I thought so. So without further ado, actually a big shout out to Rebecca. Hope the visit with the sisters going well. I hope you're getting up to a lot of mischief. Certainly miss you, but I'm sure you're having heaps of fun over there. Right now, let's see if I can segue into this rather smoothly. Let's just jump into this issue 4, and I'm really excited to talk about this. Issue 4 of City of the Dead. So yes, as you can see, it's a bit of a bigger shot there. So should show the cover. If you haven't got it already, go to your LCS, go check it out. Yes, City of the Dead, a really cool cover there by Rod Reyes. Again, I think he's been doing most of the covers. I think there are a couple of, let me have a little, variant covers as well by David Marquez. Oh, and Chris O'Halloran. That would be pretty good. And AKA as well. But the regular cover artist there, Rod Reyes, haven't got visuals of those variant covers. But, if you want to pick them up, please, of course, do so. As mentioned, I think towards the end of last issue, fantastic. Love the colors here from Rosenberg, of course. It's just really kind of synonymous with Moon Knight now. We've got your purples and your kind of violets coupled with your greens and of course the black and whites just work really well. It seems to be a snapshot in time as Moon Knight is falling through some sort of vortex, and we have the likes of the Jeff Lemire run, as I mentioned, Kang, the Kang annual, Age of Khonshu. We have Hunter's Moon there, which is more of the Jed McKay run, and then you have more of the volume ones. There we go, Werewolf by Night and Bushman. So pretty handy issue. Now this was this was released in October. Cover date November. We'll just say that. I've got it in the show notes. Can't remember totally offhand. And we have David Pepose as writer, Penciler Marcello Ferreira, with inker Jay Leiston, color artist, of course, Rochelle Rosenberg, and also this time Fair Cifuentes Sujo. So sharing the duties there. Letterer VC's Corey Pettit, and of course, I said cover artist Rod Reyes, editor Tom Brevoort. So pretty cool. So as mentioned in the previous episode, Moon Knight and Layla had kind of gone through the gamut of dead villains that Moon Knight had put into the City of the Dead, so to speak, and they kind of wanted their pound of flesh from him. Layla saves him, and they find Khalil, kept prisoner. They break him out. Khalil turns out to be the avatar of Osiris. This is a real major. Well, not, this is a really general, I guess, feedback. Not feedback. This is really summarized kind of synopsis of what happened previously. Khalil ends up being the avatar of Osiris, shoots Jackal Knight, aka Randall Specter, out. That kind of summons Ammut the Devourer from the sands of the City of the Dead of the and Ammut, just eats Moon Knight. So we're left at that. Moon Knight does that to allow for Layla, the Scarlet Scarab, and Khalil to get away from the huge. What do you call them again? It's a tip of my tongue. Rick would know this. Kaiju. Yeah, that's it. From the huge kind of monsters that is Ammut the Devourer. So yeah, overall, look, I'm not going to go through this page by page. It's not that sort of episode, but overall, I really enjoyed this. I think Ferreira's artwork really does give it that kind of solidarity that I think was lacking, unfortunately, in issue 3 with Hill's art. It's just a lot more assured, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of standard that we were used to, and we were kind of fed from the beginning, from issues 1 and 2. So Ferreira's art is just really good. I really do like it. Let me just find a page here. I mean, we do get a version there of Ammut. It's very similar to Hill's rendition, but just a little bit more detail there, looking a little bit more sinister. And yeah, we get some nice splashes here. I mean, the look of Moon Knight is testament to Rochelle Rosenberg and the colors. I mean, he just seems to be this out of this world figure with the slight glow and the fact that he's just purely black and white. In some ways kind of reminds me of Mr. Negative in the sense that he pops out of the page. But yeah, really, was one of the light things fell off. Yeah, really cool art. And I love this, the Legion of the Unliving. So we do get like a crack squad here that we do, led by Jackal Knight, Master Sniper, Chainsaw, who else is there? Black Spectre, Taurus, and Plasma. Really fun characters from Moon Knight's past, and we do get another member from his past, which was in a very important scene. And I really do love. I've got to reiterate just what Pepose does with the material, especially here. I think this issue was a lot more balanced than, say, the previous issue, because it had that kind of high octane action, but at the same time, it delved into again like the psychology of Mark Spector, and that's something obviously we Moon Knight fans love. And so right from the outset, there's a moment here where Mark is kind of reliving in his mind. I mean, we know he's being held prisoner by Ammut, and Ammut's trying to kind of turn him, trying to corrupt him, because remember, Ammut ingested him. So this is all kind of, and in the city of the dead, it's all not as it seems. So Ammut has kind of taken hold of him symbolically and is trying to kind of break him. And Mark has all these images and all these memories, and some of the memories are kind of manipulated by Ammut, of course. But this first one seems very much like a memory from the past. His first kill as a mercenary, and I got slight visions of Saving Private Ryan. I know that's a very odd reference, but there's this knife fight between he and this other soldier, and it's just two of them. And there's this knife that the soldier is, for all intents, about to stab Mark with, but in the final moments, he finds a gun and he kills the soldier. In Saving Private Ryan, it goes a different way, a lot more shocking way. But still, it just reminded me of that when it just reduced to two men and a knife, just fighting for their lives. And this was traumatic for Mark. I mean, he would later go on to, be a killing machine, which Ammut says. But this first kill had a significant impact on him. And so I like how Pepose dives into that, as well. Whereas I think issue 3, it was very kind of, as I mentioned, it was slightly cheesy. It was very actiony, a little, a little cheesy with the dialogue. Here we get a balance of, we get some great action, but we get an insight again into Mark. And again, I think that's something that, as a Moon Knight fan, you really do appreciate. I mean, you could say that with any hero, of course, but I think more so for Mark, considering his his condition, like who he is and how he is. So really cool there. And Pepose does that from the outset. yeah, then as I mentioned, that is kind of offset with the action. And again, a proposer manages to keep things really exciting by having kind of two concurrent scenarios, which again is nothing original, but what it does is that it really adds a lot of depth to the story. So, on one page, figuratively and literally here, we have Moon Knight in his predicament with Ammut trying to break him, and on the other side, we have Layla and Khalil, and this is the other story that is perpetually moving forward about her trying to run away or flee from the Legion of the Unliving and trying to save Khalil. So uh, I like how that kind of keeps us busy as readers, and so it was quite, thrilling to see the Scarlet Scarab fly through the skies of the City of the Dead and try to evade capture. But of course, we get the return, and this had to always happen because they did escape towards issue um, towards the end of issue 3. Um, uh, yeah, they escaped. So to have Jackal Knight back and to have everyone ready to kill again. Of course, I forgot Midnight as well. He was there in the last issue. That's really fun. I really do hope maybe we get to see down the line this Legion of the Unliving again. I mean, I just love the disparate kind of characters, and being a Moon Knight fan, I love how they're pulled on from different eras. So anyway, um, Layla has to deal with that, and again, as I said, we go back and forth between that and basically the mind job that Ammut is trying to put on Moon Knight. So we get his narrative of him essentially coming up against ghosts of the uh, past, present, and future. I guess. Well, more so, really, just the past. um, so we have visions of his father. I'm assuming from the past, and then from the present, it's Frenchie and Bushman, and I guess they're from the past as well. But yeah, so he's kind of going through his inner demons, and yeah, and it's really well drawn, very well done as well. I mean, we have just Mark, I guess, in his mindscape being inundated with these overwhelming kind of figures of victims or people that he's killed, because he's got massive guilt, right? He's got massive guilt about what he has done in the past. It hasn't stopped him from continuing his fight for justice and killing when he needs to, but it's such a heavy weight on him. And I'll we'll get to it obviously with the arrival of, spoilers everybody, with Peter Alron. Rain, I never know how to pronounce his name. I'll say Alron. Alron. Elron. Alron. I'll say Alron. Peter Alron. So there's that comes up, which is a really cool kind of touching moment. Um, and that is the culmination of what Moon Knight does. He basically overcomes all this kind of guilt and baggage that he has by being able to speak to Peter. The guy that he wasn't able to save that night, and it was such a turning point in his life, of course, because he later went on to become Moon Knight. But that guilt of not being able to save him, and the fact that, look, I'm going to jump straight to it as well. It's probably the crux of I think this issue here as well. So Moon Knight is almost there at the point of despair. Like Ammut is doing the work, doing the job, getting Moon Knight to almost really be defeated. But then we get Dr. Peter Alron come up and essentially tell Mark that he had forgiven him for not saving him. And his last words were, protect my daughter. And he says, look, you've done so well. Like I have a grandchild as well in Diatrice. Um, and even when it's cost you so much, it's cost him everything. It's cost Mark a whole lot. Actually, his relationship with Marlene as well. All that he did that for the greater good um, of protecting like Marlene. So by Peter being so grateful to Mark for that, there's just this awesome picture here of just them with Conchu in the background, just essentially saying, "Yeah, I forgive you." And Mark's, and I love it, the turn over there with the schnicked. So Moon Knight's in shackles, but he's now no longer mentally defeated. He's ready for action. He knows that none of that stuff he should hold on to. It's something that he should work through. So I love that kind of therapeutic nature that we get with Moon Knight, and this is one of the great things I think that Pepose does here, coupled with just the awesome action by having the scenario of the Legion of the Unliving, and seeing Scarlet Scarab, that sort of stuff. It's really really fun stuff. So yeah, that I think was the main gist. I've jumped straight to the Moon Knight side of things, and we do. Well, there's a huge thing that happens with Scarlet Scarab and Khalil and and Jackal Knight. He actually does. Oh, actually, before I should say that, there are a couple of really cool notes here. Just seeing Scarlet Scarab manipulate the city itself, which we've seen her do, and I had just had to double take here. At first, Jackal Knight basically terrorizing the city. There were innocent people there who are going to get hurt. Scarlet Scarab, she creates a hand out of debris, protects them, and then she wallops one of the ships with it. I think that was awesome, just to show the sheer power that she wields, and then this really cool dynamic of her just shooting away with that the sound effect of boom, really cool. So she does a number on the Legion of the Unliving, but essentially what we get is Jackal Knight manages to somehow wrangle the power of Osiris from Khalil. Oh, I should also mention as well, just before that, there's a really cool cameo from, where are we? There's a cameo from a couple of gods here. Yes, we get Thoth and Shezmu. And I love it. Again, thank you so much, Pepose, for including more Egyptian deities. It's really cool. I really do wonder how this will all factor in with Hickman's gods, changing that whole cosmology of the Marvel Universe gods and deities. I hope we do see a lot more Egyptian. I hope we see a lot more gods from from other myths. Pardon me, because they're a lot of fun. I mean, they're one of my main. Like, there's a reason why I like Hercules in the Marvel comics. I just love the myths. If we can get Marvel, if we can get Wukong, is it Sun Wukong, the Monkey King? I'd be very, very happy. I may have butchered that name, by the way. Anyway, yeah, so we do get them. They try to protect Layla, so there's a short-lived moment. They try to protect Layla, and they get zapped. Oh, which reminds me as well, I might as well call it out. I think Rebecca put it out on Facebook, our group. The announcement of from NYCC about the Ultimate Universe and the announcement of Ultimate Black Panther. It's getting me excited for the Ultimate Universe. Look, I totally missed the Ultimate Universe back in the day. Look, I've gone back and reread Bendis's and Bagley's Spider-Man, which is fantastic. I've read a little bit of the X-Men, a little bit of the Fantastic Four. But looking at the new Spider-Man one announced and Ultimate Black Panther, looks pretty cool. I might have to dive into it. And yeah, I know that the Ultimate Invasion is happening at the moment. I may have missed that. I might have to catch up on that from Marvel Unlimited. But yeah, for all intents, it looks really good. Anyway, I wanted to say that because what am I saying? The embodiment, the Moon Knight in that universe is apparently the embodiment of Ra and Khonshu. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, yeah, I'm keen. I don't mind the odd Black Panther comic. So, I'll be keen to see the ultimate Black Panther. Anyway, coming back to this, as I mentioned, look at this. Look at this page, these pages. Beautiful colors. So Khalil, well, it's beautiful, although Khalil is in a great deal of pain here. But Jackal Knight is drawing the power of the essence of Osiris, which is what they wanted, some sort of ritual, drawing it from him and becoming, what does he say? He becoming even more powerful, even more godlike, and what he wants to do is raise this realm to the land of the living. So he's not only seeking power within the city of the dead. There are definite concerns for the people of Earth and the people of the living. If this dude wants to come up and start causing a ruckus. So yeah, so stakes just got even higher, baby. Yes, so can't wait. So that's a nice little setup as well. As I mentioned, that is going on, and that's pretty bad. And as I mentioned, Peter Olron talks with Mark, goes through it, which is pretty awesome. Then it comes to the end where they both collide, I guess. So we have, of course, Ammut the Devourer still there, which had ingested Mark. It had ingested Moon Knight. It is tearing its way through as well. It catches up with Layla and with Jackal Knight, everything like that. So, physically they're coming closer, but it just collapses. And in a very, I don't know, I see it as a very Drax-like event. Mark cuts himself out. I mean, we saw him snick the crescent claws out. So it had to happen. Something had to happen. And a beautiful last page there. Last splash. Look at that. When I'm finished with you, Randall, you're going to wish I let the Devourer have you. This guy is up for it. He's up for it. Matters of life and death. So a great way to end this issue. And this was a fantastic issue. I must say, I really did enjoy it. I've been enjoying the whole series as well, but I think Pepose has done very well by crafting the, typically pacing wise, the penultimate issue. I could be wrong. If there's an issue 6, I could be wrong, but it just seems like this is the penultimate issue, and it seems like things will come to a head. Let's have a look here. Yeah, it just says City of the Dead issue 5. It doesn't say a conclusion or anything like that, but Pepose has knocked it out of the park, I think, by really getting us thrilling scenes, and also at the same time touching upon stuff, in the mind, behind the doors, in the backstage of Mark's mind, and what makes Moon Knight tick. And I really do appreciate that. So, so really good. I would, rating wise, I gave 7, I think, to issue 3. I'd be looking more here. I just think from well crafted, really enjoyable romp. I mean, again, I'm 100 things. I'm thinking of, like, what if what if a casual reader picks up this issue? Would it be readable? Would they be lost? I can't really say, because look, I've been following this series, but all I can say is that I'll give it a solid 8, I think, out of 10. I think it really is strong, and Ferreira's art is just awesome. I love Ferreira's art. I know Rebecca and I were talking about earlier on. I think in the earlier issues there were some inconsistencies, similar to what I pointed out in issue 3 with Hill, but I can't fault it here. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, you could nitpick and look at some of the facial features, but I think overall, I think in the inks as well, really, I mean, it's Lyston. Is that right? Jay Lyston. Really, really good inks to work with these pencils. and you get some really intricate detail. But then you get kind of stylized things like this here with Mark's face, but it really just tells the whole story, doesn't it? Like the shock of him. Look at that. So really good. My favorite one, I'd say like a few favorite ones. Look, Legion of the Unliving. Who doesn't like a supervillain group shot? There's that, and then I just think mainly all the. Man, this one is weird, isn't it? This one's weird and wacky. This was Mark going through his bad phase as well. It's not dissimilar to. It reminded me of that issue with Morpheus in the Jed McKay run, of him trying to figure out what makes Mark tick. And in many ways, actually, this is the dichotomy. I think it's the flip side of it, because Morpheus was assuming all this bad stuff. Like you saw it, like, is this what makes you happy? Is this what makes you happy? And they go through kind of the flashbacks and the history. And eventually Moon Knight just goes, no, like none of that. None of that satisfies me. Killing the Avengers or fighting on a mountain of corpses, that is not what I want. And in this instance, in City of the Dead, it kind of goes through that again, but I guess in a different way. It's not like that. Ammut is feeding these images to try and make Moon Knight realize that this is what he wants, but it just highlights again that these events are intrinsically kind of affecting to Moon Knight and very important to Moon Knight, and it actually makes him the person he is. And I like that reaffirming thing with Paul, or not Paul, with Peter Alron, about how, although he's kind of lost a lot. I mean, again, this harks down to Charlie Houston's The Bottom. Although he's lost everything, he does it. At least the intent is to do it for the better of his peers. Like he, although he gets it wrong, he cocks it up. He's trying to do the best for Frenchie or for Marlene or for Crawley, but that may not necessarily translate and help their relationships. So very cool indeed. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for me. Some great ones. I just wanted to show that one again of, with the glare. Yeah, that one. The hug with Peter and Moon Knight. Fantastic. 8 out of 10. Really cool stuff. Well, I did leave a discussion thread up, but totally understand if that was really late notice. So it's never too late anyway to drop in your thoughts. Let's get a discussion happening. What did you think of the City of the Dead? What did you think of this issue? Where do you think it is heading towards for the final issue? Will we have ramifications that will perforate throughout future Moon Knight stories? I mean, we already will with, I guess, with Layla, with Scarlet Scarab. It's great to see her. Will she be still confined within the City of the Dead, or will she somehow make it out and start to interact amongst the land of the living and amongst other heroes? Or was this the cameo of her that we'll see and we won't see for a while? It would be a shame. I'd love to see more of. I wonder how they would expand it, because I love this premise of the City of the Dead, and we do get to see the deities. I wonder how we get future stories where Egyptian deities are again reintroduced. I mean, the sky's the limit. Khonshu is incarcerated. It's not to say that another god, like Ra, or the Sun King, makes another appearance, and then we get another story. But I really do enjoy the different flavor of this series, because it's a little bit more, I don't want to say supernatural, a bit more fantastical. It's in the dead side, so to speak. It's not street level, But I wonder if we can. I hope we get other stories with deities introducing themselves with Mark as well. Uh, so yeah, that's all I guess I can say on this. It was fantastic. Loonies, thank you so much for listening. As always, I should put this up on screen. You can drop in your thoughts or anything on email, feedback at itkmoonnight.com. We've got our website, itkmoonnight.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, and Blue Sky. So just drop your line, drop your thoughts there, and I'd be happy to chat and to, you know, talk about theories, talk about where we see things going. Hoping we get more from David Pepose as well. I'm looking forward to speaking with him again. As I mentioned before, speaking with him to see what potentially is the future for him and Moon Knight. It does seem that he is getting busier. He is fast and up and rising. I mean, he's been around. He's experienced as hell. But it's great to see him get more and more titles from Marvel. So from the Savage Avengers to Moon Knight to the one shot from Black, White, and Blood, and now he's got the Punisher coming up. So yeah, very exciting. I want to be able to chat with him about all the projects that he has coming up that he'll let us know about. So yeah, leave us your thoughts. Always happy to hear from you. A big shout out, I've got to say again, to the Patroonies. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your unwavering support. As mentioned, I have been a bit lagging, so hence these two quickfire, shorter episodes to try and get back up to speed. But yeah, we'll discuss it over on Patreon. But I'm hoping to at least freeze the patronage for maybe a couple of months, just because yeah, I just don't feel right, when I haven't been producing as much content. I'll still be trying to get some bonus episodes out for you as well, for those in the tiers that do have bonus episodes. So that could be anything. I mean, yeah, hopefully I'll make it interesting. I've already got a few things in mind, i.e., hence I've been trying to work out this camera. But yeah, we'll see how we go. But thank you so much, of course, and thank you to our sponsors, CLZ Comics and Dreamland Comics from Schulenburg, Illinois. Anyway, that will probably wrap me up from here. Yeah, as I mentioned, next episode 341 will be with David Pepose, and then just keep on looking at the phases of the moon, trying to follow that as well. We haven't seemed like Yonks. They've done like a classic run or a recent modern issue, but we have been blessed with new issues, so I cannot cry over that. I mean, that's pretty damn good. Everybody, once again, thank you so much for listening. And as always, may Khonshu watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.